Good afternoon, everyone. It is officially 1:30, so I'll call the meeting to order. We have a quorum, I believe, and so we've got enough voting members to proceed with the meeting. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I don't believe we have any changes to make. So, seeing no changes, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mayor Dixon, I'll move to approve the agenda.
Thank you.
Mayor Osborne, second.
Good. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? Great, we have an agenda. Public comment for items not on the agenda. Do we have anyone in the audience or online who would like to comment on a topic not on the agenda? Seeing none, we will move on to the approval of the minutes from the September 10th meeting. Everyone has a copy of those in their packets and I think has had a chance to review them. Any changes, corrections, comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the September 10th meeting minutes. We have a motion from Councilmember Gold.
I'll second John Graham.
A second from Mayor Graham. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Number 5, Citizen Advisory Committee Monthly Report. The first item under that topic is a certificate of appreciation for a CAC member, Carlos Perez, who I believe resigned, and I've got a copy of a certificate here for him. I'll just read this real quickly. The Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority wishes to acknowledge its deepest gratitude to Carlos Perez for his invaluable contribution to the PPRTA Citizen Advisory Committee from January 2028 to December 2022, and again from April 2023 to September 2025. And I believe Mr. Perez is here with us. If you'd like to come up to the podium and say a few things, you're certainly welcome to, and I think we're going to take a celebratory photo as well. And as Mr. Perez is coming up, I'd like to point out for the record that now when CAC members resign or are termed out, they get not only a wonderful certificate, but a hard hat. And when I termed off the CAC, I think Rick shook my hand and showed me the door. So
maybe it was you. I would just move approval of the item.
Very good. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And a second from Commissioner Applegate. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? Great. Carlos?
Well, thank you very much, Chairman. Yes, this is my second tour of duty. I was termed out. My first term on the CAC had expired back in August, and I just was not able to continue on with a second term because of my work. I'd just been incredibly busy, and I wasn't able to, continue on. But it has been a privilege and honor to serve on both the CTAB, the Citizen Transportation Advisory Board, and also the PPRTA CAC as well. And to advise you guys, I was telling someone this morning, my job and role, and it will continue if I was still here, my job was to give you guys the best possible advice I can give you as a citizen. The best possible advice. That means doing my homework, evaluating the facts, listening to other people, listening to you guys, listening to my fellow members, and with that, synthesize and provide the best of my abilities, the best possible advice I can give you that. And I think I've accomplished that. I'm not disappearing. You'll still see me around riding my bicycle. So I still will back. I would continue to go to open houses and hopefully to some ribbon cuttings. I'm actually looking forward to the Circle Bridges project, which I was involved in back in 2017, I think, at 2018. And that's coming along. It's actually right next to my workplace. So maybe you'll see me there at that project, but I won't disappear. I just unfortunately just did not have the time to continue giving you my time here. So thank you very much, and our paths will cross again. So thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. We really appreciate your service to PPRTA and to the community, and I'm glad to hear that you'll continue to be involved and engaged and around. So thank you. And with that. Want to just right here in front of the sign, or where do you want to do it? Okay.
For Larry in the picture too?
Yeah. Okay, 5B, the monthly report. I think Larry is going to give the report as he comes up to the podium. There was one item that was brought to the CAC on a very short timeline, and I think our attorney, Jennifer Ivey, was going to maybe address that just briefly.
Yeah, just to advise the board, item 7C, which appears on your agenda and notice, was added to the CAC agenda at the meeting, was not on the posted notice due to timing of bringing that item forward. As I understand it, and Larry can address it as well, this is an urgent item. So while it wasn't on the 24-hour in advance notice, it was considered by the CAC, and they've made a recommendation to this board. Although ideally we strive to have all those items listed on the agenda, I think having the CAC hear that when it's known that contract items will be before the CAC serves the purpose and intent of the board. Adequate public notice is given for this meeting. The alternative, as I understand it, would have been just bringing it to this board without any CAC consideration, which would be actually less consideration and transparency. So just wanted to give the board a heads up on that.
Thank you.
Larry Tobias, first vice chair of the CAC. Jim is off having his annual balloon festival fun in Albuquerque. So I will be presenting the report today. There were no public comments at the CAC last week. Lisa gave us the final financial reports, information only. And, as you can see in your packet, we were also pleased with the fact that our numbers are still positive, and hopefully with the trend that we have so far, with the budget for the year will be positive by the end. City of Colorado Springs, capital project line item transfer. Gail gave us a long list of projects. What they were projects that were either closed out with small amounts left or are nearly closed out with small amounts left. And so she's working at transferring them to the South Academy Boulevard project. That was approved unanimously by the CAC. City of Colorado Springs contracts, there were 6 of them, and they were unanimously approved by the CAC. City of Manitou Springs, as indicated by Jennifer, we did have that particular contract. What I did is, even though it wasn't part of the agenda, I went ahead and actually asked the CAC to approve item on the agenda, additional item on the agenda to cover this Manitou request. And that was approved unanimously. After a review of the project and the vote, it was 9-2. 2 people voted against it, but it was approved and is before you today. City of Colorado Springs Transit monthly report, that was information only. City of Colorado Springs monthly change order and property acquisition report, again, information only. City of Colorado Springs Powers North reimbursement update, information only. That project is moving along well. So hopefully we will see some further action on that in the future. City of Colorado Springs advanced allocation update, the Brookside realignment, information only. City of Colorado Springs letter of support for bridge investment program grant for the Fillmore Street Bridge. That was approved unanimously by the CAC and is in your packet today. Rick gave us a report of recent board actions. It was information only, but he did get us updated on that. And then Rick also then went into the appointment and reappointment process for the CAC, since we have several members at the end of their terms. And it was information only. Staff field report, that was done by Rick also, and information only and no questions. Agenda topics for the next meeting, there were none, and communications, there were none. Are there any questions?
Thanks, Larry. Any questions on the CAC report? Okay. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
Mayor Dixon, I'll move we accept the CAC report.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Very good. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, Larry. Moving on to item 6, financial reports, monthly report. There is no monthly report because of where we are in the cycle. Is that correct, Rick? So then item 6B would be the fiscal year 2026 budget. This is when we officially receive the budget, and we will be voting to set the public hearing date for our December meeting. As I understand it, there is one adjustment that the city of Colorado Springs wants to make, which will be included in this adjustment. And I don't know if, Rick, you want to speak to this, or if Gail plans to.
I'll just go ahead and take it, Mr. Chair. Gail Student with the City of Colorado Springs. The only adjustment is actually going to be on page 35 of your PDF if you have it. And it happened to be page 8 of my memo, and you will see that the 25 carryover balances are going to be changing in the transit programs for PPRTA 2 funds. This change is in the carryover amount, and it's going to be discussed more when we go to the line item transfers. Today, only 2 of the 4 programs have monies in them. Transit is splitting them into 3 programs, and when we first prepared it, I was told a different program to move money into. It has since been corrected, and that's what the budget documents will reflect. No changes to any of the totals or any of the other allocations.
Very good. Any questions for Gail on that? And again, we do need to set this as a public hearing for the December board meeting. So unless there are any other questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion to achieve that.
I move to set the public hearing at the December board meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second John Graham.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Great. We've set the public hearing then for December for the 2026 budget. Item 7, 2025 capital maintenance and public transportation contracts. First up, City of Colorado Springs.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Gail Sturdivant again for the City of Colorado Springs. In your packet, there is a memorandum that details, it's 4 pages long, that details the line item transfer. The first part is in Table 1. Table 1 is PPRTA 2 named projects and programs. That primarily they are projects that are complete, or they have funding that are in there that is not going to be needed to be able to complete the funds to be able to do that. With the exception of I took some money out of the Fontenaro over UPR railroad tracks to be able to do this. This is really to identify the rest of the remaining funds, are basically to swoop the money out of these old projects and programs to be able to fully fund the Academy Boulevard construction project, which you are going to hear in the contract section. I will say, I do want to point out there are a couple trail programs in there. This has been highly coordinated with the Parks Department. Most of those are projects that they had funds in there. They did not have a project identified for them. We took those. They do have projects identified in 2 of the projects, and that's for the Rock Island Trail and the Pikes Peak Greenway. They're giving me those funds under their RTA 2 monies to be able to fund Academy, which is a named project and one of our priorities. And because they had active projects and we're going to need money in 26 to be able to do that, you will see when we present the budget, it's actually even my future line item transfers, you will see that they're going to be fully funded to be able to complete that work. Any questions on Table 1, and I'll move to Table 2. Table 2 is where there's a correction that we just talked about with the budget, and this is related to 2 transit funding related to transit programs. Today in RTA 2, and these are only RTA 2 dollars we're talking about in this particular table, there are 4 programs, only 2 of them had monies. Mountain Metro has vehicles that are coming in, and they're using these capital funds to be able to meet the local match requirements. They needed to pull some money out of the bus stop and the sidewalk and bus stop program and to put them in the appropriate account. So you will see that there's $19,816 going into the ADA paratransit bus system vehicle replacement. And then the correction, it said in the original memo in your packets, it was the van pool vehicles. It's actually the fixed route bus vehicle system. and those monies are allowed to be used for existing route vehicle replacements. So that is the correction. So that line item transfer would take $262,919 from one program and divide it into two programs as needed. And then table 3 is to take PPRTA $3 out of 2 existing projects and move them into those trail programs that I mentioned. We are taking monies out of the Midland Trail 21st to 25th Street project. Those are construction dollars that had been programmed and we're not getting to construction in 25. Parks needs those to complete an activity on the Pikes Peak Greenway. So when we transfer them over to them and replenishing those dollars, and I think I reprogrammed those in 27 to be able to do the Midland Trail corridor. And then on Powers Boulevard, I've been carrying more than necessary for the reimbursements that's obligated under the reimbursement agreement between PPRTA, the city, the county, and the Copper Ridge Metro District, because I thought I was going to get a big utility bill. But I haven't got the big utility bill yet, so I was able to reprogram those monies and be able to give it to the Parks Department for the Rock Island Trail to be able to complete a project they have planned to still get started this year. And then I reprogrammed those dollars for Powers in 28. So still able to fulfill and plan to fulfill our commitments underneath the obligation agreement. So those are the details on the 3 line item transfers. I'm happy to answer any questions related to those.
Any questions for Gail, I guess?
Yes, so they haven't sent the utility bill, but they're going to?
In this case, they may not send the utility bill because they had when we first set the budget for the utilities, I planned for 100% reimbursement, and most often we have a cost split in reimbursement. In this case, I will get a bill, but not as much as I thought. And I'm not anticipating getting the bill till 26.
Okay, what do we estimate though?
I think I have the high end would be 1.9 million.
Okay. And we have that out, like, for next fiscal year, we can have that kind of something tucked away, like allocated.
Yes, I have it programmed in my CIP and in the 26 budget.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Other questions for Gail? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the line item transfers.
Mayor Dixon also move.
Is there a second?
Bailey second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Again, this is item 7A. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. 7B.
All right, so I'm going to present the city's 6 contracts. The first one is for the Academy Boulevard reconstruction from Fountain Mill to Milton Proby Parkway. This is the PPRTA 2 A-list project. There's a map included in your packet to orient you to where this project is located. The city did come in August and present the first half of this contract. We asked for a not to proceed amount for $22 million to be able to do the underground work associated with this. That would be the stormwater, the water leading up into the overall project. We've actually been working diligently with a construction contractor to make sure we have a very surgical, phased construction plan to be able to complete the work. And needing to do that, we needed to fully fund the contract. And we were always intending to fully fund the contract, which is really making sure we had all the monies in the right line item to be able to do so. Just as a reminder, the city did go through an RFP process and we did select SEMA Construction. So the full value of the contract is $46,792,482.35. The PPRTA portion is $42,110,735.66. The city's second contract is the second to last PPRTA 2 A-list project, or second to last one to be funded for construction, and that is for the 8th Street improvements from Motor City Way to Fountain Creek. This is, like I mentioned, is a PPRTA 2 A-list project. Again, there's a map included in your packet. I think we've mentioned this before, but for those who weren't there, when this was identified to be able to go do the streetscape improvements and resurfacing on this project, Colorado Springs Utilities identified a major transmission line that also needs to be replaced in this area, and they wanted to do so in advance of going and doing the road work in the system. So we've been working diligently with them to get the construction contractor on board. The city went through an RFP process, and I will tell you it's not 100% complete in the RFP process, so I'm going to give you some generalities of where we are on that. We had multiple respondents. We have narrowed it down to a shorter window where we sent some questions to and asked for essentially their best and final offer. Based on those respondents, we have received that information back, so we have some cost certainty in the range where we could be in price, but we have not made a final selection yet, but we intend to do so. Instead of I was hoping to be able to tell you who it was today, but instead of deferring it, I really need to get this construction contractor on board to start ordering the long lead item materials that I'm going to need for the water transmission line, and also to make sure that they're sequenced appropriate with the water shutdown we have planned for them to be able to do this work. So I'm asking for PPRTA board to consider a not to exceed value of $12.2 million. That would be split with a not to exceed value of $4.5 million to PPRTA and the remaining $7.7 from Colorado Springs Utilities. And this has been a well-coordinated project with utilities. We just wanted to make sure we had some risk questions identified and looked at the costs associated with that to make a final selection. City's third contract is for the Tut Boulevard Extension project. This is an RTA2 A-list project. There's a map included. This is for a final real estate purchase that was needed to be able to complete this project. The city went through a possession and use process with the Colorado Springs City Council to be able to get permission. It was a willing property owner, willing to have the road go through there. We were just for not agreeing on price. To give you an idea, the city's appraised value was $580,000. The owner's appraised value was over $1.2 million. We did enter into possession and use with that property owner in March of 24. We did complete construction of the work. We have come to a settled agreement on a total amount of $910,000. In 2 years ago, in September of 2023, we actually approved the original $580,000 because as you go through the possession and use process, you have to deposit that money. So we did that. So we're asking for the board's approval for the remaining $330,000. I have presented this to City Council in accordance with the city's real estate regulations. I did this on September 22nd and is currently scheduled for the consent agenda on October 14th. So we anticipate having the check, and once we get the final resolution, go into closing for that property. The city's fourth contract is for the Garden of the Gods intersection improvements. There's a map in your project or in your packet, and this really ranges between Mark Dabbling and Chestnut Street, and it's really intended to focus on doing a lot of intersection safety improvements. We've had a huge crash history in this area across the 6-lane arterial. The city went through and we got a highway safety and improvements program grant fund that essentially funds 90% of this project, with the local match coming from the PPRTA, both 2 and 3. This first contract will be for 2 to do the design work, and it's roughly 10%. We did have a slight overmatch on that, so you'll see the numbers don't quite match in an 90-10 split. But the first contract is for the engineering work with the total amount of $282,868.75, of which PPRTA's portion is $25,286.88, and that goes to Olson. For the same project, contract number 5 deals with the material testing. That is a true 90-10 split, and that is for a total amount of $93,375 to Granite Engineering Group. And the last piece of this is for the construction services. The city went through an IFB, or invitation for bid process. We had 5 respondents and determined that Finsterwald was the lowest bidder. The total contract amount is $36,607.98, with PPRT's 10% is $103,660.80, and that's coming out of the RTA 3 roadway safety and traffic operations. So those are the city's 6 contracts. I'm happy to answer questions, so I appreciate your favorable consideration of approval.
Any questions for Gail on those items? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Commissioner, I'll move to approve.
Oh, I'll second.
We have a motion from Mayor Dixon and a second from Commissioner Williams. Unless there's any discussion, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you very much. Item 7C is the City of Manitou Springs. I think Karen Rowe and Ben Schmidt are here to present that.
Thank you for having me. Karen Rowe, PPRTA representative for City Manitou Springs. I do have Ben Schmidt, who is the city engineer and public services director, and Felipe Lopez, who are working on the project. So City Manitou Springs came in August and asked for $100,000 out of PPRTA 2 project funds to fund West Fork construction for Creek Walk number 4. However, there's a CMO and a desire for the city to use additional PPRTA funds. So they're requesting an additional $100,000 from that PPRTA 2 project that has a total of $215,000 in it. So this would use $200,000 of the $215,000. So this is an additional $100,000 request for a total of $200,000 from PPRTA 2 downtown Manitou, downtown sidewalks, utilities, and drainage. So that's request. I have all the other information in the packet, so I didn't know if there was any other questions.
Any questions or comments on this one? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mayor Dixon also move.
Is there a second?
Second, Commissioner Williams.
Thank you. Motion and a second. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to 8, member government and other reports. 8A is the City of Colorado Springs Transit Services monthly update.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, Land Rail Division Manager, Mountain Metro Transit. In your packet is our monthly report. We're very happy to report that we set our summer record again this year, thanks to Zero Fare. We set our monthly ridership record back in July, and we actually went back and looked at the numbers differently. We noticed that we were actually hit our record close to 1.1 million trips this summer. So we're very happy to share that information. Also included in your report are 2 items under the transit highlight section. We are starting a project working with PPSC, traffic engineering, city engineering, CDOT, 2 mobility hubs. A couple months ago, CDOT shared their proposed 10-year strategic plan with the PPACG board. And in that proposed plan, there are 2 projects for Mountain Metro. One is at Pikes Peak State College, Rampart Campus. The other one is at the South Campus, Centennial. So we are starting this process by having a joint meeting / open house with PPSC. The target audience is PPSC students, staff, and their faculty to get feedback on what their vision is. We're trying to have this project be not only serving transit's goals, also serving PPSC, our important partner. So more to come on this project, and we're very excited to get it started. The second update we included in the report is we kicked off our initial meeting with our consultant to launch an alternative transportation study implementation plan. This is an extension of our 2050 long-range transit plan. In that plan, one of the recommendations that we received from both the consultant and the public is to look at our service delivery options and really match and right size our service delivery really to what the community needs. In the long range plan, there were 6 alternative zones that were recommended. So we're going to start from that recommendation, look at the zones, review whether or not they still meet our goals. One of the goals that we have for this study is to look at how we continue that effort with implementing the Express Bus Academy connecting PPSC campus. So all those projects and efforts are somewhat related, and through this study, we hope to come up with recommendations and identify both the right service model and the vehicle type for delivering those services. We don't know what the recommendation is going to look like. The study is going to take about 1 year to complete, and we will be looking into TNC type of Uber Lyft service delivery model as a calling right, deviated fixed route, or commingled service between ADA paratransit service as well as other regular riders who are not certified to ride Metro Mobility. So more to come on this, and we're very happy that we're starting this process. Another highlight that I would like to share will include some pictures in our next month's report. We attended the State Transit Association's annual meeting the last week in September, and we received 2 awards. One of them is our marketing program of the year. We did a joint effort with District 11 high school students with their artwork, and we wrapped those outside the buses during Free Fair. So it was pretty exciting and cool. This is the 3rd year in a row that we received this marketing award, and we're very happy. We'll share more information next month. The second award we received was Transit Professional of the Year award. We're very proud that our operations manager and safety officer, Kevin Booth, was selected to receive this award. So again, we'll share more information, but we're very happy. Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions for Lan? Okay, thank you. 8B, City of Colorado Springs monthly change order and property acquisition report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Gail Sturdivant again. So the change order log and the real estate log are included in your packets. They're informational items. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have anything about them.
Any questions on that? Okay. 8C is the Powers North reimbursement update.
Yeah, just continuing to keep you updated. This last cycle, we had several invoices with a bunch of different activities going on to advance both the local bridge project or construction project, which we hope to be having out to bid here in the next handful of weeks, and then also advancing the mainline work. But during this period, we received a total invoices in the amount of $223,017.43. That brings the PPRTA portion to just under $19.75 million, and then the Colorado Springs Utilities portion of $1.27 million. Continue to update you on that. Hopefully we have some more exciting news on that, but as I was just mentioning, we are getting ready to put the RFP out to get a construction contractor on board to start construction on the local bridges that will be going along with the project. So we'll start seeing some action on that here in the near future.
Good. 8D, the advanced allocation update on Brookside realignment.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to make sure that we're keeping the PPRTA CAC board updated with the approval for the advanced allocation that we received from the board in June of 25 to be able to advance that Brookside realignment project. So far in 25, we've let out 2 task orders in the amount of $339,106.50. We have included monies in our 26 budget to be able to cover that cost, along with some others associated with that project. We are hoping to be able to have this allocation and plan to have this allocation stay in place if we need cash flow assistance both in 26 and 27 to make this project happen. But we're also trying to include it to our budget. But the bottom line is the city intends to be fully compliant with Board Policy 7 to make sure that we're reimbursing the advance allocation as outlined in the memo. Just wanted to give you an update where we are on that. Any questions related to that?
Doesn't look like it.
All right.
Thanks, Mia. So 8E, this is an approval item. City of Colorado Springs is seeking approval for a letter of support on a bridge investment project grant.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I have to apologize. I'm gonna have to do some verbal updates on this, mostly because the notice of funding opportunity for this bridge investment program grant actually has been temporarily pulled off federal highway site. But when it was up there, the original deadline is November 1st. I've been pursuing and have an application prepared should they come back, but I don't anticipate them still making me hold it November 1st. But regardless, I still wanted to make sure that we are prepared and have a letter of support associated with this project. And this is a bridge investment program that came about as under the IIJA, Infrastructure and Investment Jobs Act, that is specific for bridge projects. We received a planning grant for this project. We're at completion of that activity. We're actually pursuing this bridge project, which is another program underneath that grant, to be able to help us fund the construction and the rest of the engineering and construction of that bridge replacement. You can see the total cost is over $60 million, and we are going to be asking for a grant amount of $48.72 million. Anticipate the local match being about $21 million on the PPRTA side of it. That would be offering a 30% local match with our grant application, and 20 is the minimum. Because we're using PPRTA funds for the local match, or intend to, one, we're looking for a letter of support, and also we have to have a statement of funding commitment, which is written in the draft letter provided in your packet. So I'm happy to answer more questions about the project, about the grant process itself, or the letter, but I'd appreciate your approval and support on this letter.
Any questions for Gail on this? Okay, seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve so that we can sign this letter of support.
Mayor Dixon, I'll move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second John Graham.
Thank you both. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Thank you. Moving on to 9, administrative actions and reports. Rick, I think you were going to talk about the reappointment process for the CAC.
Yes, yes, Mr. Chair. Excuse me. As the board is aware, the CAC bylaws prescribe that approximately a third of the 21 CAC members are up for term renewal each year. And as you see in your packet, three of the 7 are Steve Murray from CTAB, Larry Tobias from El Paso County, Carl Stang from City of Manitou Springs. So those 3 need to pursue reappointment from their respective governing bodies. Of the remaining 4, Brandy Williams, at-large regular, Rich Zamora, at-large regular, Jeff Snelling, at-large alternate, and Jamie Smith, at-large alternate. The board would need to reappoint those 4 members. There's a board policy that delegates to the subcommittee of the board, which is the board chair, board vice chair, and the CAC chair, to review the at-large regular and at-large alternate applications before it goes to the full board. I'm suggesting, as you can see on page 2 in the recommendation of the board, there's 2 options. One is to advertise only if any of the 4 at-large CAC members decide not to seek reappointment, or to advertise regardless. I'm suggesting that we wait and see how the applications come in from Brandy, Rich, Jeff, and Jamie, and then only if 1 or more of those choose not to reapply, then to advertise. Board Chair Jim Godfrey has shared with me that he's satisfied with the attendance and the participation of Brandy, Rich, Jeff, and Jamie. He'd like to see them continue. So I'm asking for either the board subcommittee, or meaning the board chair and vice chair who are here today, or the full board, to give me some direction on advertising only if any of the 4 at-large members decide not to, or to advertise regardless.
Any opinion about either of those options? I'll just share that I'm of the opinion, as Jim Godfrey indicated, the 4 have been doing a very good job, I think, of participating on the CAC. And if they are interested in seeking reappointment, I don't know that there's a reason to go through an advertisement process. I don't know, Holly, if you have any thoughts, but
I am in agreement with that if they're willing to be reappointed, then we shouldn't need to advertise.
does anybody on the board disagree with that? Okay, I think there's your opinion. Ready?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yep. Anything else on that item?
No,
Okay, thank you, sir. 9B is the staff field report.
just information. It's my quarterly drive around windshield survey to confirm that things are moving along, that the signs are up, particularly for the capital projects. Everything looked pretty good. You saw a couple of instances where an address was wrong, but by and large, everything looked good.
Great. Any questions on the field review? Okay, item 10, agenda topics for the next meeting. Anything that we want to highlight or add? Okay. Any member announcements? You guys are an easy bunch. Oh, I'm sorry, Gail. Yeah, I didn't see you.
So I do have one. And it's interesting that Carlos, I don't know if he's still here, mentioned this. We are going to have a public event for the opening of the Circle Drive bridges on November 13th at 10 a.m. It's going to be held in the Kohl's parking lot there. So I will give you a reminder because we meet the day before. But just want to let you know if you want to get that on your calendars if you'd like to come. I'd love to have you.
Yes,
Great.
thank you. Could you send us a calendar invite, please?
I will do.
Or at least
I will. Actually, I have one. I will forward it to you. I just got it myself.
Okay, great. Thank you. And while I have the mic, if I may, last week was, or the week before last was Week Without Driving. So I decided to kind of test myself and participate in that and see how I could get along on my feet and on an e-bike. And let me just share that it is very interesting to look at the roads from that perspective of a pedestrian and a cyclist. And there are certainly parts of the city that are better equipped for that and make you feel a little bit more safe. And there's other parts where we could do a little bit more work. So just wanted to share. And if you guys want to participate, it's every year. So around this time next year.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay,
I'll second John Graham.
we're adjourned. Thank you.